Entire islands, with coastlines, wildlife, even human settlements, have simply ceased to exist. No explosion, no warning. Just gone. So let's start. Number 10. Bermeja was a real island. It appeared on Spanish maps as far back as the 16th century. Cartographers drew it north of the Yucatan Peninsula, sitting neatly inside what would eventually become Mexico's exclusive economic zone in the Gulf of Mexico. For hundreds of years, nobody questioned it. Sailors referenced it. Governments cited it in territorial agreements. It was simply there. Then, in the late 20th century, researchers went to verify its exact coordinates and found nothing. Open water. No shoal, no sandbar, no sunken reef. Just the Gulf of Mexico, completely empty. Mexico launched formal expeditions in 2009. Ships scanned the seafloor with sonar. Satellite imagery was reviewed. Scientists cross-referenced every historical chart they could find. And the conclusion was uncomfortable. Bermeja had never been definitively confirmed by modern instruments. It had existed on paper for over 400 years, and then the paper had been checked against reality. Some researchers argue the island was a surveying error, a phantom born of imprecise early navigation. Others point out something harder to dismiss. Bermeja's location would have dramatically expanded Mexico's claim over deep oil reserves in the Gulf. Its disappearance, or its non-existence, happened to benefit competing interests enormously. Was it a centuries-old cartographic mistake? Was it a real land mass that erosion slowly swallowed before anyone could photograph it? Or was something deliberate involved? Mexico's government has never issued a final, definitive answer. The maps still show the name. The ocean still shows nothing. Bermeja remains one of the most politically loaded disappearing islands in recorded history. Number 9. Medieval European maps placed a massive black rock at the exact geographic North Pole. Cartographers called it Rupes Nigra, Latin for black rock. According to the most detailed medieval maps, this island was enormous, magnetic, and surrounded by 4 giant rivers that drained the world's oceans into a whirlpool beneath the earth. It was, by their understanding, the reason compasses always pointed north. The rock literally pulled iron. This was not a fringe idea. Rupes Nigra appeared on serious, widely distributed maps used by navigators and scholars across Europe. It informed how educated people understood the planet's geometry. Some early Arctic expeditions were partly motivated by the ambition of finding it. What they found instead, of course, was sea ice. The North Pole is ocean, shifting, freezing, melting, and entirely unsolid. No black magnetic mountain has ever been located anywhere near the polar region. The origin of Rupes Nigra is genuinely mysterious. One theory suggests it derived from ancient misinterpretations of compass behavior. Sailors noticed needles pointing north and invented a physical explanation. Another theory links it to distorted descriptions of real volcanic islands, like Iceland or Svalbard, passed through multiple translations until geography became mythology. But here is the part that stays with you. For roughly 3 centuries, educated, serious, professionally trained mapmakers placed a detailed island at a location they had never visited, and nobody challenged it. The island existed because authorities said it existed. And when explorers finally reached the pole, the island had nowhere to hide, and nowhere to have gone. It had simply never been real, yet it shaped human navigation for generations. Number 8. Sandy Island appeared on Google Earth. It appeared on National Geographic maps. It appeared in scientific databases used by researchers worldwide. It sat in the Coral Sea between Australia and New Caledonia, roughly the size of Manhattan. It had a name, coordinates, and a colored polygon on digital charts. In November 2012, an Australian scientific vessel sailed directly towards Sandy Island to conduct oceanographic research in the region. As the ship approached the supposed coordinates, something strange happened. The water depth read as over 1,000 meters. No shallow shoal. No approaching coastline. The ship literally sailed over where the island was supposed to be, and saw nothing but deep, dark ocean. The scientists posted about it online almost immediately. Within days, cartographers worldwide began pulling Sandy Island from their databases. Google updated its maps within weeks. A significant land mass had been removed from the official record of Earth's surface in less time than it takes to process a passport application. The origin of Sandy Island traces to a whaling ship log from 1876. A crew reported seeing land at those coordinates, and the report was transcribed into charts, copied across generations of maps, digitized in the satellite era, and never physically verified for over 130 years. This is not a story about ancient mapmakers with primitive tools. This happened in the age of satellites and GPS. The world's best mapping technology had included a phantom island for decades because the era predated the technology, and the technology trusted its sources. Sandy Island is perhaps the clearest proof that the maps we trust, even today, may contain inherited ghosts. Number 7. Lohachara was real. Fully, verifiably, photographically real. It sat in the Ganges Delta in the Bay of Bengal, and for generations it was home to a living community. Fishermen, farmers, families who built their lives on its low, fertile ground. At its peak, roughly 10,000 people called Lohachara home. In 1996, Lohachara disappeared beneath the Bay of Bengal. Not from an earthquake. Not from a volcanic eruption. It was swallowed, slowly, then completely, by rising sea levels accelerated by the gradual subsidence of delta sediment and the expansion of warmer ocean water. The people did not drown. They were evacuated, displaced over years as the island shrank, flooding more frequently with each monsoon season, until the land simply could not sustain habitation. Then it could not sustain existence. Lohachara holds a grim distinction. It is widely cited as the first inhabited island in recorded modern history to be permanently submerged due to climate-related sea level rise. It was not the last. Nearby Suparabanga Island disappeared shortly after. Bedford Island followed. The Sundarbans region has been losing land to the sea for decades, and the process continues. Scientists and governments had data on this. Researchers were publishing warnings about the Sundarbans Delta years before Lohachara went under. The island's loss was not a surprise to the people studying it. It was a confirmation of exactly what the models predicted. Lohachara matters because it transforms the disappearing island from a mystery or a cartographic curiosity into something immediate. It is not a ghost on an old map. It is a place where people lived, and now it is water. That is the trajectory more islands are currently on, and the timeline is accelerating. Islands disappear through error, erosion, politics, and rising water, and every case asks the same uncomfortable question: how well do we actually know the world we think we've mapped? If this made you think, subscribe and hit the bell. There is a lot more ground left to cover. Or water. Depending on how fast things are going.